What's going on, you guys? So, Game Labs came out with two new websites covering their two upcoming games. Special thanks to Historical Gamer for letting me know about this. He made a video. I would encourage you guys to go check that out too. Basically, they made this website, these two websites, to showcase these two upcoming games, showing some of their concept art, which it looks absolutely gorgeous here. But let's go right into the meat of this website, see if we can find out some any new information of this upcoming game here. So, design warships, command fleets, win the naval arms race for your nation. So, from what I understand, this takes place in the early 20th century, from what I understand. So, it's not going to go to World War II or anything like that. So, unique ship design, become the architect of powerful warships from small torpedo boats to mighty battleships. So you can recreate famous ships as the HMS Dreadnought and countless speculative designs via comprehensive 3D interface. Interesting. All right. So, realistic combats. Let's take a look at that. We all want to see juicy combat, don't we? All right, every design aspect of your warship shall be proven in combat. However, even the best possible design cannot guarantee victory on sea, since you must also command your ships effectively against an AI that will adapt to your tactics as a human captain. In this article, we're going to present all the important combat mechanics that you should master in order to achieve consistent, positive results in ship-to-ship combat. So let's take a look at some of these screenshots they have here. You can see that's a pin interest. I like the way they did that. Let's see, is this gonna zoom in? No. Let me see if I can zoom in by myself. No, I'll have to just go through these like that. I like that it gives you like a little notification here what kind of ship this is. It's absolutely gorgeous though. Wow. You can see the planks right on the ship here. Wow. I like the textures for the water here. Love to see some gameplay so I could actually see how they you could see how like the waves hitting the ship here. So I would love to see the video of that. I want to see how good those graphics are. All right, division of flagships. At the start of a naval battle, the opposing fleets are automatically divided into divisions, with each division consisting of ships of the same type. The strongest ship in each fleet becomes the flagship, and your AI opponent will operate using formation tactics around its own flagship. You can attach or detach to and from division and give command to an AI fully or partially to selected divisions. Ships can maneuver intelligently according to special commands, such as screen, which makes one or more division automatically protect another division against nearby threats. I like that system. Interesting. Drag and drop commands allow easy creation of the line ahead or a line abreast formations, or laying smoke screens with destroyers to mask your movements against the enemy. Intuitive commands allow you to execute naval tactics with ease, even with large fleets. But you might be intimidated when you notice that the AI opponent can be equally capable and use realistic tactics to find and engage your fleet. More on this later, since finding the AI opponent AI whereabouts will be an initial challenge. Okay, so it looks like they're not going to just drop you on one tactical map where you're just facing each other. So it looks like you're going to have to do a little poking and prodding to find the enemy fleet. All right, realistic visibility. Depending on the battle conditions, fleet may start an engagement from beyond visible range. Spotting the enemy in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts will be a realistic procedure that succeeds in accordance with ship technology and tactical maneuvering. Screening with light ships ahead of battleships should ensure the enemy does not surprise you with a torpedo attack, which would be really bad for your battleships. Torpedoes will be visible according to their propulsion technology and your ship's own countermeasures. So if you have a lot of ship stacks and you're belching out a lot of black smoke, yeah, you're probably gonna, stand out. Early technology will allow hydrophone stations, which will help detecting standard torpedoes at long range. Electric torpedoes, though, will be so stealthy that only sonar equipment will be capable of catching them. You got another nice screenshot there. I like that. You see that animation here of the water hitting the bow there. Ooh, okay, I like this. You can see some of the tracer rounds here, and a light cruiser sinking through transports. Another cruiser here. Interesting. I like this. Realistic weather effects. Visibility is restricted during bad weather or night. In such harsh battle conditions, destroyers and torpedo boats will be able to closely approach their targets unseen and launch their torpedoes with increased hit chances. Interesting. Even the mightiest battleship might be sunk by by a successful night ambush of deadly torpedo boats. However, ships need to be sufficiently seaworthy to withstand rough seas, especially during stormy weather. Ships of low stability will see their combat value heavily penalized, as their guns will be inaccurate and maneuverability decreased. Thus, designing light ships will be a special challenge to make them maintain sufficient speed and maneuverability in all weathers. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. Otherwise, they will be slowed down by so much heavy waves, sea waves, that will either become easy targets or fail to outmaneuver or enclose with bigger ships. Dang, it's a long article. Jeez, and it's cut off at the bottom. Alright. In Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought, ships have limited ammo that contributes to the total tonnage of the ship, placing realistic constraints on ship design and tactics. I like that. No unlimited ammunition. It's always a positive. Firing at maximum range while firing fire and control technology allows for a minuscule chance of a hit. Kind of goes along with how things were in World War I and Spanish-American War kind of thing. Would be unwise, since you would be risk wasting all the ammunition with little damage effect to the enemy, and then become vulnerable to close-range counterattack. Ammunition management will be even more important with torpedoes, which, depending on technological development, may be fired at long range but have little chance of hitting an enemy that is spread out and maneuvering. To avoid excessive micromanagement, ships by default will conserve ammunition until chances of hitting are reasonable. You can override this default mode to be more aggressive and fire at will at any range or to hold fire. Consequently, your command skills will be tested not only in maneuver but also in fire control. And you got realistic ballistics and targeting. By default, ships select targets efficiently. Capital ships with multiple main and secondary guns may decentralize their fire and target multiple enemies simultaneously according to threat. So in most circumstances, you can trust your ships and focus on the maneuvering while letting them choose their targets automatically. Oh, I like that. Guns slowly improve their aim by firing bracket salvos methodically, placing shots in front and behind the target to gradually determine the correct gun. And I can't get the rest. All right. So that's interesting. I really like this. This is very in depth. I like this. They're focusing on immersion, but not too much micromanagement. I like that. That's really cool. All right, let's go to the other ones. Campaign or Academy. Let's kick this out. And this one's gonna be a long one too. Check this out. All right. There's going to be two. You got Campaign and Naval Academy. Naval Academy is quick battle where you can play specific battle scenarios versus the AI component. Selecting a mission brings you to the mission brief where you must select an option to boost your ship design. Options are usually a technology upgrade combo or additional funds. Next, you are sent to the ship design interface to design your ships. After completing your preferred design, your ships deployed to battle. All right, so basically, this is your quick, if you want to do a quick round here. I noticed it said right here versus an AI opponent. I'm hoping there'll be a multiplayer campaign to this, because it just looks like here it says versus an AI component. So hoping maybe they just didn't include that. I'm hoping there's a multiplayer section there. All right, the campaign. In the campaign, you participate in an ongoing naval arms race and try to overwhelm your opponents by maintaining economic and technologically superiority. You fully manage the fleets and naval construction programs of the following nations that are available with their historical borders from the imperialism era to the interwar period. Okay, so 1890 to 1930. So we're covering World War I, Spanish-American War, pretty much. That's all. You have also the Russian, Japanese War, and a few other ones there. I think those are the three ones I would love to play: Spanish-American War, World War I, and also the Russo-Japanese War, because, well, that was important. The campaign is set in a global scale over a complete map that includes all countries of the time period. Minor nations are not playable. On this huge strategic board, you can recreate historical battles such as the Russo-Japanese War and the World Wars, or devolve into what-if scenarios such as China prevailing in the Sino-Japanese War and becoming a major naval power. Very interesting, they say World Wars. This only goes to 1930. Oh, 1930 plus. So, interwar period, is it going to end at 1939, I'm assuming? Because it doesn't say to World War II. It just says the interwar period, which is between 1918 and 1939. And yeah, I guess that makes sense, because basically the Japanese-Chinese War was in the 1930s. You could also do the Spanish Civil War. So a couple of things you can focus on there. I'm assuming the World War II will probably be their sequel. All right. Significant political events can include rebellions and change of government from monarchy to democracy. Your naval strength will play a crucial role in all those events, but most importantly, military engagements, since the control of the seas may cripple your opponent via naval blockade. Secure your army supply lines and open opportunities for naval invasion. Okay, this is interesting. So I wonder if this is just going to be like events that happen like in Hearts of Iron, where you're an admiral and all of a sudden your country becomes democracy, goes down to monarchy. Does that affect, I guess, the way you're managing that fleet? I'm kind of curious because I doubt they're going to do a military naval aspect and then do kind of like a nation management. I doubt that's where it's going. But it looks like you have to secure your army supply lines. That's interesting. So I wonder if like land engagements are going to be on a strategic map and you're going to have to respond to those engagements and kind of react to them. Very interesting. From your position at head of the Admiralty, you do not have direct control of the nation's government. Okay, so that answers it right there. But you can influence the course of the actions either by sharing your opinion in random political events or by strengthening the naval power and prestige of your nation. I like this. So you can be kind of Yamamoto kind of thing. Each nation has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, some countries will begin with a much more stronger naval facilities, England, and greater economic power than others. But the randomization of technological advancements and events in each campaign session ensures that the final dominant power is going to be always unpredictable. Being chief admiral of your nation gives you complete power over naval construction programs and policies. It will be your responsibility to manage naval budget and allocate it wisely between tech research, crew training, shipyard development, shipbuilding. You will also move your fleet across the global map and decide which regions to reinforce. Global tension may rise dangerously and cause wars that will involve your country. So you must make sure that your fleet is always ready for combat and maximum efficiency. I like this. Fighting naval battles in a campaign. Global map is divided into sea regions where you can deploy your ships. Depending on the provinces you control on those waters, you'll have to keep your naval strength in a minimum safety level or else economic efficiency will deteriorate and you may even face rebellions on ruling colonies. Interesting. I like that. During wartime, your fleet will engage enemy forces that are stationed in the same sea region via the battle generator system. This system generates missions by evaluating several strategic factors affected by fleet composition, ship operational range, and naval tax. In those generated missions, which vary from small convoy raids to major fleet action, you can take part directly. Direct control your ships against the enemy. Winning these naval battles is crucial not only for the war effort but also for your career. If you are defeated many times, your naval prestige may fall so low that it will cause your dismissal by your government. So you want to win battles. All right, submarine and anti-submarine warfare. It's going to have a special function campaign, expensive to research. Submarine sacrifice funds that could be spent on warship technologies. However, once they become available, each campaign turn you will have the power to sink enemy merchant or military ships without any opposition unless the opponent has sufficient anti-ASW technologies. You control submarines by deploying them on the map and choosing their rules of engagement. During wartime, this effect is calculated per turn according to the strategic situation on the map. Similarly, the ASW system ability of your ships is auto-calculated according to the amount of destroyers, depth charge equipment, submarine mines, torpedo nets, and several other technologies currently researched. They can open a Pandora's box for the side that chooses an unrestricted warfare policy, and then an accidental sinking of a neutral ship may drag other nations into a war against you due to Lusitania. All right, so mine warfare. Mines will have a special role in the campaign. Mines will need special research to become truly effective. They will automatically generate near your shores during a war, and the same will be done by your enemy. Ships that operate near heavy minefields may be struck by mines, leading to damage or complete loss. The end of war will see minefields only slowly cleaned out, still capable of causing damage to ships of any side and possibly raising tensions between countries. Interesting. And you got world wars, alliances, and treaties. Diplomatic compilations and alliances may entangle several major nations in a war with each other, creating a world war. Such a cataclysm will bring about land battles all over the world between the rival countries. As chief admiral for your nation, you will not directly control events on land, but you will be in full control of the Navy, and the role of the Navy will be crucial because blockades and successful convoys can completely cripple the opponent's economy and progressively reduce his ability to support his fleets and armies. Interesting. So basically, like I was thinking, you're basically reacting to to army battles. And victory points are measured during wartime when one side gains an overwhelming balance of points. Then a treaty is signed, resulting in war reparations, exchange of provinces, ceding of ships, and naval territory treaties that limit naval construction programs. Interesting. All right. So what I'm getting out of this is basically you are basically like a Nimitz or a Yamato, where you can kind of influence your politicians, but basically that system is going to be like auto kind of managed by the game, by certain events and certain variables that are happening in the game. If you don't basically make sure that your troops have a supply line and they get cut off, you lose a war, that's going to go into the political aspect as well as the future of your country. So it's interesting how this system is being devised. I really like it. It's kind of putting you in the driver's seat of just the Navy, but you're not kind of zoned out completely from the Army side, because a lot of naval games, it's like, all right, we're going to give you the naval side, and there is no land battles happening. So just play with the Navy side. Let's pretend no Army stuff is happening, and there's no political stuff happening. Just naval war, naval battles. That's it. And I like how this game is incorporating those key elements, because let's be honest, these are key elements, right? Nimitz, Yamato had to respond to the will of their governments, and I guess if Nimitz was doing a bad job, his ass would have been out the door, But thankfully, he did a great job, and United States won the war. All right, designing warships. All right, so I'm gonna kind of brief through this because I want to cover the other one. And so I'm just going to kind of go through this because this is a long section, as you can see. Jeez, this is long. Yeah. So I'm just going to go touch on a few things because I don't want to spend the next hour and a half going through this. But ship classifications, you could build a battleship, battle cruiser, heavy cruiser, light cruiser. You could build a torpedo boat. This is, if you're familiar with naval warfare, you're very familiar with a lot of these ships, and you understand the capabilities and the primary importance and the role of each ship. So I'm not even going to go into these. Light cruiser, suitable with distant commerce rating, enemy torpedo craft. I mean, this is all, destroyers go after subs, particularly effective as screening vessels, things like that, which we all know. Hull types. So become available and older become obsolete. For example, in the early 1890s, we construct battleships with pre-dreadnought characteristics. When technology allows it in 1900, battleships can be built bigger, stronger, and carry heavy armament. Affects the damage received by ships. Armor penetration. The higher the stability of the hull, the more accurate are the guns while under high speeds and facing bad weather. Ooh, I like that. Floatability affects the impact of flooding on the hull, reduces the probability of flooding after a hit, and decreases the speed penalty from flooding. Interesting. Okay. Displacement determines how many tons of machinery, armament, and other important equipment can be fitted. More tonnage, larger, powerful, the cost is higher. Basic stuff that we all know. Ship's propulsion system is integral. Speed determines range, how far the trips can travel away from friendly ports without refueling. Okay, so I like that they're taking range into a factor there. And of course, with technology upgraded, could be fueled by either coal or oil. Late technology allows for the uses of boilers that can either burn both types or exclusively oil. Yeah, funnels. More funnels improve energy efficiency and boiler performance. Every ship needs a main and secondary tower except destroyers and torpedo boats, which can operate fine with a single tower. The main benefits of tower main benefits are enhanced visibility, accuracy, and damage control. Ooh. Optical rangefinders and radar. You play additional objects on towers, enhance their central fire control systems. Basic stuff that, you know, this is nothing too shocking. Seems like they're just taking basic concepts and applying it to the game, which is, you know, normal. Expected. Torpedo diameter. So there's a lot of customization that you can do to the ships going through this. Underwater protection. Ooh, bulkheads. These steel walls divide the hull's interior in multiple rooms. Number of bulkheads directly affects your ship's fireability. Oh, I like this. So, like I said, a lot of customization. And you can even customize the thickness of the bulkhead. That is sick. I like that. Anti-flooding system. Wow. Wow. This is awesome. You know, honestly, when this game was announced, I thought it was going to be like a simple, you know, tactical battle game where you're just going to like design a ship and kind of like if you play, what's that game? Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, where you have that skirmish mode where you can like, you know, attach like certain weapons on your ship and put them in a certain part of the map, and then you just go at it. I thought it was going to be something like that, like a quick play, but it looks like there's a lot more depth to this. And there's going to be 2 editions, a limited edition, redeemable on Steam. Ooh, you get access to the closed alpha build, and then you have the standard. Ooh, I like this. Let's click on this. Let's see what this does. Nothing yet. You just click it. It doesn't take you anywhere. I thought it was going to take me to Steam. All right, interesting. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. So yeah, guys, I'm really pumped about this. I honestly thought, like I said before, was a quick battle simulator. I didn't think there was going to be this campaign and a political side and an army side and random and events that you're going to have to react to, and you know, designing your ships from the ground up, bulkheads and you know, all these different systems. I really love this. This is kind of like, this is naval warfare on steroids, and I really can't wait for this game comes out. I know Historical Gamer's gonna love it because he's a huge naval combat guy. So, yeah. So I'm gonna do a separate video on Age of Sail because I think this has been going on for a little bit. So I'm gonna do a separate video on that, and I'm gonna jump right into that. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one.